Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.
Alrighty, folks, we got a full house, but there goes Sean. The door is shutting. He's leaving. And we're in this beautiful podcast studio, and I am Joe Snedeker. This is the Mr. Curiosity podcast, and oh my goodness, I'm surrounded by two people. Usually it's one-on-one. This is intimidating. We have Dan Turansky and Amanda Eustice. The Pocono newsroom team is here.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
So we have to explain what happened. Amanda, we do this great podcast a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Through Zoom. You're in the Poconos. I'm in my podcast studio. We're 45 minutes in. What an exhaustive but yet awesome conversation. The depths of your world, your life, your opinions on everything, how you got to where you're at. And then my computer, I get the spinning pinwheel of death on an Apple desktop, and the computer dies.
Boom. And we were getting to the good part, which was here, how I got here. Here at WNEP.
You asked her entire life story.
I know. And then the whole thing just dies. Yeah. You know what the funny part is, though? So we have to do this again, and it's going to be kind of fake because I know some of the things. My wife tells me I never listen to what people say anyway.
Oh, perfect.
So
you don't remember
like every
anything
man,
that was
right?
said 2
Like
days
every
ago.
man.
I don't remember anything you told me.
Awesome. Sounds like my fiance, right?
Do you do
Or
that?
Dan. Or Dan. Dan doesn't listen to me
Well,
either.
Yeah,
I was going to say, before we get rid of Dan, because this is going to be your day, and we're going to do Dan another day. Dan, we want to know the life of a WNEP photographer.
And that sounds like fun. I would love to share that with you.
You guys see so many things, do so many things.
We have a weird job.
It's almost like you're a first responder, but you don't respond.
Right. It's more like, it's true. It's true. I respond at the same time as first responders.
Well, I mean, you respond, but you don't act, you don't do anything except
No,
shoot video.
I take pictures of heroes, you know.
Yeah,
but I'm there in the moment. I'm there when things are actually happening. I chase disaster.
So what do you say in the future we do a whole podcast on the life of a WNEP photographer? It's going to be
I think that would be awesome because a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
They don't know what goes
Plus,
on.
they don't know about the relationship and who Dan Turansky is. I got all the
know.
inside
So
scoop.
we're
So
gonna do
I'm going to come
that.
back.
You don't have to-
I'm
you don't
actually
have to
just
share
going to
too
come
much
back
about
and
me.
just give a little tea.
Oh, I love it.
Little tea.
A little tea. I just learned that term, by the way.
Oh,
I was too
yes.
old to know what that was. No, Dan, you've been here at WNEP how long?
16 years.
16 years. The guy's a veteran.
I have. Yep. And I
And this little punk's here 2 years. You've been through 2 others like her.
I've been, others like her, but I've had 5 reporters through the Poconos already. Absolutely.
I thought you had 2. I've been here 30 years, and you only had...
Trish Hartman, Wendy McNew, Reagan Medji,
But they were
Amanda Kelly.
were like quasi-Pocono, weren't they, before Reagan?
They were with me short stints. Like Trish Hartman was with me for
But
1
they
year.
were official Pocono...
They were Pocono beat reporters, absolutely. But like Trish was
became
only
like a thing, though, with Reagan.
It did. Well, Trish was only with me 1 year, and then she got promoted to the weekend anchor position. Then I had Wendy. I was only with her for 1 year, and then she married Rich. And then I had Reagan, and then Reagan I had for 4 years.
And
that really galvanized the Pocono.
Yeah,
beat,
that's what
was
became
having-
like a thing.
When you have that metronome, when you have somebody there for that extended period of time, people get to identify with them. And now I've had Amanda for over a year.
You skipped Carmela. Why
Well, I didn't skip over her at all. I mentioned her in the list, but I meant that like Reagan established kind of that the identity out there, and then Carmela continued it. Absolutely, she was phenomenal.
So what do you say we do your life in another episode and what you do and all the things you've been through and seen? But before you leave us and we focus on this girl, I need to know because you're her man at work husband, her work husband.
Absolutely.
She comes off to me as peppy, feisty, spirited, zippy.
Be kind. Dan. Be kind.
No, but all in a
Always
good
kind.
way.
What are you talking about?
Some people are spark plugs and they're annoying. She's a spark plug and she's
annoying.
And she's wonderful. Is this it?
You are 100% accurate. No, she's full of energy. She's young. She's young, unlike us. So she actually walks in and she wants to do things. She wants to learn. She wants to experience everything, and she's curious about everything, as you are. And so that makes for a very good reporter. That's the job, is being curious, because you have to go out and you have to find out what's actually going on. You can't walk in already knowing what the story's going to be about. You have to be curious about it.
I understand all that, but I don't want to keep this too professional. I want to know about the personality, the gossipy side. Does she ever stop chewing your gum like that, Dan?
Oh,
Don't
no.
put your cup over there, Dan. Dan, why'd you park your car in my spot? Like, does she have any of those things?
And I'm over here like thinking, like,
know,
oh my
like
gosh,
she's not-
I kind of feel like I've done that before. And Dan's like super chill.
I
know he is.
I'm in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sometimes I come in and he's probably like, what is she on?
The Jersey girl comes in on fire.
So there it is, the Jersey girl.
Absolutely. But like, she honestly keeps it very professional with me. And then if her fiance calls her, it's like, what do you want? Like,
Oh, is that right?
oh yeah. Then the professional demeanor comes off, and she's her natural self in that moment.
Poor Paul. He's not even here to defend himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Paul, the police officer. We're gonna get to him
Yeah.
later. All right.
Exactly, but no, we have a good time, but it's that level of energy and that fire that actually is a lot of fun.
And I think too, what separates us from reporters you've had in the past is we're a little bit further in age and different in age. So we learn a lot about each other every day. The way I pronounce things, the jokes that we share.
He'll set you straight. You mean?
Oh yeah. Or we'll go back and forth over certain.
Well, we've had to break her of her
words.
Jersey accent and everything.
Yeah.
He is a wise man.
But no, I think it's every relationship is different with every one of the reporters he's had for sure. But I think for me, what I noticed is difference is because we're not so far in age, but there's definitely a gap as opposed to when you were with Carm or when you were with Reagan for sure.
Right.
I mean, she was born when I got my driver's license.
When you say it like that, it sounds so bad.
This is your third year here soon. So
Yeah.
so you're a newbie, and I'm almost 30 years, and this guy's 16. You said?
Yep.
So yeah,
We have like all the
we take the
little
All the
generations.
generations are represented right
Yeah.
here at this table. I like it.
The sad part is I still might see myself as the new guy. That's how pathetic the human brain is as it gets old.
That's interesting.
It is, because when I was here, I was like this bizarre guy who would do
But
things.
you still
And
are.
now you're a bizarre guy
Did that
does
not
things.
change? Like, did it just become more of the norm?
I don't know. Who knows? But all right. So Dan, are we going to kick him out of here now, or do we want anything else?
Yeah,
from him?
I don't think you have anything more to learn from me. From
No,
that.
we have so much to learn. But the point is, we have so much to learn from you.
Okay.
I want
That we need a whole
I
new
want a whole
podcast
show,
for
and
it.
we got to
Yeah.
do her today.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
a problem. Well,
Oh,
I would love
excellent.
to come back, Joey.
But I was hoping for something on her, some big chunk of dirt, like she.
Do I have any?
She bites her nails and then spits the little fragments out on the floor. Give me something.
Okay.
No.
Okay. When you're done your laundry and you fold up all your laundry and you're putting them away in your chest of, what do you call that?
gosh.
What do you call?
So I just
you folded your laundry.
and I'm putting it back in the drawers.
What did you just say?
The drawers.
That is not how she pronounced
Let's
it.
hear it.
Put it in the draw.
Is that a Jersey thing? Draw?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything goes into a draw.
A draw.
So this is our biggest.
yeah, but you know
like,
there's an R at the end.
I'm going to say work argument that
definitely
we
not.
have all the time is the way I pronounce things. That's it.
I have to,
all
I have
the
to break
time.
her of the coffee.
Okay, really quick
Yeah.
while Dan's still here.
Uh-oh.
Traffic,
Oh,
right?
here- this was the
I
other
wrote
one.
a story the one day. And it gets approved, everything's fine and dandy, and I said, well, how did I write it, Dan?
Okay, so she wrote a story. Okay, we were getting shots of Interstate 80, and she said there is no traffic on Interstate 80.
Yeah,
and
there will be.
And in my video, there are cars going by, and she's like, "There is no traffic on 80." I'm
There's
like,
no traffic.
There actually is traffic.
No, there's
It's
not.
just there isn't congestion. And to her, the traffic literally
No.
means everything is stopped.
There's no bumper to bumper.
So you think
I'm not sitting in traffic.
So no traffic to a Pennsylvania
Like what-
means
Yes.
there are no cars on the road at all. That's
so,
no traffic.
So Jersey people, right? When my mom calls me and she's like, and we're talking and whatever on the way home, and she said, "Oh, are you in traffic?" And I say, "No, I'm moving. Like everything's good. I'm fine."
But do you think that's your local group or local thing, or everybody's like that? All the
100%,
Jersey
right?
people
Didn't
would
I
say
call,
that.
Well, my mom. Maybe my mom agreed with
she
me.
called,
but
after we had this conversation, she
call
called her mother,
everybody.
she called her aunt, she called her fiance, she called her friends.
Friends, yeah.
She was calling around like, what does traffic mean? Like, it bothered her to no
Yeah.
end that we had different definitions of the word traffic. She's bothering her husband who's on like a traffic stop in a police car. And
So
Like, this is-
traffic to you has to be dense and stopped.
Yeah.
that's the only way that
Yeah.
word works.
Otherwise, well, there's no traffic.
As long as
we're
it's a
good.
Jersey
We
thing.
are flowing.
Well, see, this is where we got to start with the Jersey, and then we're going to get rid of you. She has Jersey characteristics.
Absolutely.
And that, if you're a Jersey podcast listener, no offense, but you guys, here's what we see you as. You're a little over the top. You're a little arrogant. You're a little pushy. You come in here with your big glasses on, your BMWs, you double park, and you think, we're just country folk, and look at all of us idiots. This is what we perceive from you. I don't know how accurate it is.
So accurate.
Look at Dan!
Dan's probably like, that was the exact image she had.
Oh yeah, they walk in like they know everything, and then they have no idea how the world really works.
Yes, we do. It's just a different world we live in.
There you go.
I'm not saying you're bad people, but
No,
we
we're
perceive
not.
that attitude from you.
Yes, well, again, and that's just part of the growing up in Jersey thing, especially. So
And you probably see northeastern PA as Eastern European pierogi eating polka coal miners.
Yeah.
And I'm not offended by that
No.
because that's my history. I
No,
love
and you-
pierogies. My grandfather was a coal miner, and I listened to polka music.
yeah,
So
and you guys love the outdoors. We killed all of ours in Jersey.
That's a
all
good
of it.
point. So,
we
yeah.
like the deer. Where the deer? I don't know. I've never seen one in Jersey.
Well, you're flatlanders. There's nothing there. It's all.
Well, we just built everything up. It's like
Yeah.
we need 1,500 Starbucks. And listen, I'm not complaining. I'm okay with it. But we don't like the outdoors really. Our outdoors is the beach. We go to the beach.
Yeah,
No
no.
nature.
And she grew up, as I remember from our conversation, at the top of the S in Jersey, near how far from New York City?
15 minutes.
Dan, she can get to the Big Apple in 15 minutes.
I'm not impressed by that.
Maybe we should keep him here the whole time.
Wow.
Just for color commentary. Just
All
little
right, so
digs.
your mom and dad have you in what year in northern Jersey?
1997, March 25th. That's my birthday.
And that's coming up
This year I'm going to be 26.
26 years old.
Yeah,
And
whole lifetime.
And when you were in high school, you told me that it was. Let's see how much I can remember from this. Describe the area you grew up. Like, is it a suburbia, New Jersey? Is it densely populated?
Oh no, we live on top of each other. I mean, it's
You
house,
did?
house.
No
house,
yard?
House. Yeah.
You're
no,
not
I mean,
playing
I had a yard, but like my yard was like the backyard that we have here. Like when you look at
Little tiny
yeah,
thing.
little tiny thing, nothing super big, but still like a little place to run.
Okay.
But we all grew up on top of each other, and you knew, even though there were so many people, you knew like everyone still.
You did.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to go to Starbucks, if you needed a
5
hammer
minutes.
at Lowe's,
5 minutes.
if you wanted
I mean,
to go.
I was could be at Starbucks, Dunkin', Target, Kmart. Oh my God, when they were still around.
I miss Kmart.
ShopRite, Marshalls.
So it's
TJ
all right
Maxx.
there. You're saying it's all.
Yeah.
But that's another New Jersey derogatory comment. What exit? Because the whole state is
It's
just
strip malls.
interstate with strip malls and exits.
Yeah, well, but then you get into, are you off the Turnpike? Right?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you off of
The
the
Garden
Parkway?
Yeah, the Garden State Parkway.
So, yeah, like then it gets a little bit tricky. I'm off the Turnpike in case anybody was wondering though.
How-
15W.
15W. off the
They all know their
Turnpike.
exit.
Yeah.
How far were you from, if you wanted to go to the Jersey Shore, the best?
Oh my gosh, it was that was always the thing I had to drive. I would probably say the good parts. I'm not going like seaside. I like Wildwood. I like Cape May. You're going
okay.
like all the way down.
Oh, okay.
So,
So-
like 2 hours 45 minutes.
Well, why wouldn't you go north, like Asbury Park or
Oh,
somewhere?
I go to Asbury Park, but like when you're younger, like what do you do in Asbury Park?
Yeah, because it was already
Yeah, because
in
it's
decay.
all everybody's older. There's a bunch of bars, restaurants, like. So we would go down
Okay, so
down
you
the shore.
like us. I mean, that's a 3-4 hour drive.
Yeah.
2.5, 3 hours. Okay, that's no different there.
No.
I'm just wondering because when the Jersey people probably in the summer, you hate when all of the tourists come by and we clog your streets and we bring our little towels and children and
Well, the children you can leave home. I don't care if you guys come. The children you could definitely leave home. No, actually, I don't think we really mind all the tourists.
Oh, you don't?
I don't. I mean,
yeah.
I am part of the tourists when I go down and, go on the rides or go on the boardwalk or stay in a hotel. I consider myself a tourist.
Yeah,
because
right, because you're
I'm not
a
from that
northern
area,
Jersey girl.
and I'm like 3 hours away. So I consider myself a tourist. So I don't really care. They probably say stuff about us locals.
Jersey tourist. So
Yeah.
Dan, what do you think she was like in high school?
Oh gosh.
Like, is she the talkative, gossipy one? Is she the jock-ish girl? Is she the intellectual? Is she the drama queen? Could you believe what Trisha said about my outfit today? Is she doing all that?
I don't know if she would be super dramatic, but definitely Miss Popular in a way. That's what I'm guessing.
Okay.
Does he know the soccer thing?
He knows about the
And
soccer
then she
stuff.
was an athlete.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's learning with
Yeah,
us.
she was
We're going to
learning.
keep him here the whole time, I think. Do you mind?
I don't care.
This could be good.
Oh, no.
All right, so you're in.
You may excuse yourself if you
Yeah,
need to.
anytime. Anytime you get bored with this, you
No,
can.
I'm okay. I'm good for color commentary here.
All right,
and
so
there.
you're in middle school, high school, elementary school. We'll cover the whole thing. You
Yeah.
started playing soccer. That's your
Yeah,
life. You were a
that's-
soccer queen.
Yes.
You're good, or you're forward? I forget what you said.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was a center back defender.
Okay.
I thought I was pretty good, but again, it was one of those things where you build confidence over time. So it was like, nah, I'm not that good, but I really was good because you get recognized by colleges and other teams and like the Player Development Academy, which is like the biggest academy within the state that helps you get to the professional level and get recognized and that sort of thing.
They identified you.
Yes. And that was right before I tore my ACL for the first time in high school. So that was rough because I got this letter and I'm in a knee brace and it says, yeah, we want you to come out and try out and play and visit us in Florida and do this whole big tournament thing because they bring all the kids from Jersey down to Florida and do a whole big academy and then pull the kids from there. And I was like, well, there goes my chances.
So isn't that something? If you didn't tear your ACL and have a couple of injuries, I think you told me, you could have been a soccer star, maybe recruited at some college in Florida, who knows where. You could have been on a free pass to Florida, State University,
somewhere.
Wherever.
Yeah, anywhere in the country.
And your life would have been in a whole different direction. We wouldn't be right here now, and there'd be no Pocono beat reporter. It'd be an empty seat.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it would technically be empty,
I
but,
know, I'm kidding about that.
yeah.
But it's funny how an injury took your life in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest thing for me. My entire life and even up and through high school, my mentality was soccer. Like, yeah, get good grades so you can get into school. But, like, grades were not my priority. It was, like, practice, going to 2-a-day sessions, in the weight room, running. I did track just to be able to get better at running and faster and have a better pace and all that other stuff for when I played.
You would seem like you'd be intense, aggressive.
Yeah, that's why I had so many injuries.
No lack of energy there, right?
No.
Super competitive.
So what do they call, is it the term jock? What is there a derogatory term for a female jock type? Like, do you guys have
so. I don't think so.
What do you think? Do you know? I mean, jock, does that apply? Is that male?
I just say an
female?
athlete.
It stereotypically is male, but
yeah, but I never heard this. So you were one.
Typically,
whatever you were that.
Yeah.
So the grades were secondary. You're getting B's. You're passing.
Yeah, I'm passing. Yeah, I never failed a class. I never got a D in a class.
Right.
Math, I struggled. So, like, I have gotten a C here or there. I was in Sylvan for a little bit. So, you can come out on top. That is my message.
Oh, all right.
Even if you struggle in school, you can do it and make it. That is a big message.
Did you take chemistry in high school? Did you take the academic course list?
Yeah. Did I take it? Yes.
Did
I do great in it? No.
Do you know what an isotope is?
No.
She does not know what an isotope is. All right.
No.
Then why should you, right?
No,
okay.
I don't know.
So you took it, you passed, you moved on, you
Yeah.
start applying to colleges. Where do you apply?
I go to Montclair State University. State school, get to stay local.
You knew
live
that,
with my
like when you were in 10th,
grandparents.
11th, 12th grade, you're like, I don't want to go far. I'm not
Sophomore-
going to Penn State. I'm not going to, NYC. I'm going to stay local.
Yeah, sophomore. So after my first injury in high school, especially when you're at a level where you think you could go far, I was already looking at schools my sophomore year of college. High school. So when I had that injury, I was like, well, and again, a lot of those offers then get taken off the table because they don't want somebody.
They don't care about you anymore.
No.
They don't want some injured hack.
No. So luckily, Montclair State still wanted me. They said, listen, players that get hurt and have injuries like this are aggressive. They have the ability to come back stronger. We know your personality. We know who you are. We still want you. So that was super, kind of lifted me up during a really dark time because that was super hard.
We left this out of the first conversation.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So did you play at all or no?
Yeah, I played all throughout high schoI was started.
in college?
Well, yeah, I played. Oh, yeah. I played my first year and a little bit of my second.
And you were in pain the whole time?
Well, I came back from the first injury and played my entire freshman year.
Okay.
Center back as a freshman. And then that summer when we were training for preseason the next year, tore my ACL for the second time, opposite knee.
Oh, college now. We're in college.
So
now you're
this
done.
Is, now I have both of them. And then my mentality was still, I can still do this. This is going to work. Trained hard.
Put her in the goal.
Yep. Well, no, don't put me in the goal. But then came back from that, and my sophomore year we went through the entire season because the recovery time for an ACL injury is just insane. I mean, you can't come back in 6 months and try to play.
Right, yeah.
So did all that, came back it was spring training my sophomore year. Second day in, jumped up for a header, landed, and he went again. 3 surgeries later, and I was like, I'm done.
Dan,
I can't
she's
do
done.
it. Can't do it.
Or you should see her walking on ice. It's the most careful walk in the world. She nurses her knees because of this.
So if you were to hike or walk or go for a jog, is that still you feel
That's
the
all
effects of it?
fine. Yeah, that's all fine. I mean, I went through some serious rehab and like sports rehab because my thing was, listen, if I ever did want to try another sport, skiing, snowboarding, and here we are again as the Pocono beat reporter, and that's what a ton of us do, I'd be able to do it. I'm still terrified.
Yeah.
I've never done it, but like running is totally fine. Walking's fine. Sprinting's fine. Cycling, all that stuff is fine.
Okay.
Daily activity is fine, yeah.
So you went to this college, Montclair State, and it was how far from the home that you grew up in?
Home I grew up in 20 minutes with traffic, but I took all back roads.
And you lived with grandma.
And then I lived with my nana and papa. Yep, 10 minutes away from school, rolled out of bed, went to class.
Now, did they like having you there? Or
They
what's
did.
This like?
They
'Cause they're
did
just
like
like an
having
old
me.
couple who's sick of each other and
Yeah.
they need someone else there to break the ice. They're
Oh,
probably
no,
like,
no. They loved having me. And I think we didn't touch on this either. My nana was actually the one who got me into news.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah. But she was the one who got me into news, and I started watching news in high school, and then came in my freshman year declared at Montclair State with a communications major degree.
So you did say that last time, and I'm glad you brought it back up again. So your age group, because I have a son, daughter close to your age. Dan, it's in one of my meteorology classes at Marywood University. I talk about the difference between meteorologist and a TV weather person.
Okay.
So then I told her this. I put a picture up of what I consider the two most famous meteorologists, quote unquote, in the country.
Okay.
Al Roker and Ginger Z.
Big names.
These students said, don't even know those people. This generation and younger, they don't even watch TV.
Oh, they don't.
What's going on here?
Yeah. When I go to an elementary school nowadays and I have my camera up, people don't say, "Oh, the news is here." They go, "Oh, YouTube's here."
YouTube's here.
That's
What?
so funny.
That's what little kids say at elementary schools.
YouTube's here.
Oh my gosh, is this going to be on YouTube?
So, luckily, this will be on YouTube.
Yeah.
But your grandma made you watch local news.
Yeah. She
And
told
that's
me.
what got you hooked, you're saying.
Yeah, she
So if it
told me
wasn't
that
for
I
this
needed
woman-
to know what was going on in my community because, again, up until this point of my life, it was like soccer, soccer, soccer. Everything's going to be surrounded by it. And then she's like, maybe you should start paying attention with other stuff. Like, this may not work out and you need to have a backup plan. Start watching the news. Maybe this will spark some sort of interest or something. And it did.
Isn't that something? So the generation that doesn't watch news was forced to watch it by Graham.
Yep.
And now you're hooked on it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to make a resurgence for the younger people.
Here's open.
Yeah. So would they like cook for you, do your laundry, everything? No. So you're living with them, but
I'm living with them, like rent free. Thank you.
you have
very
your own
much.
little room. You're
Have
in
my
the
own little
basement. Where are
room.
you at?
Yeah. No. Like lived just in another room, like in the house with them.
What
Nan
if you
would watch
bring,
TV.
like, yeah, but what is that like? Is it uncomfortable? What if you bring like a man home? Is it like,
See,
who
you
is
know
that?
what?
Why is he
I
here?
was never like that.
Oh, okay, never
I was
like
either
that.
like always in a relationship or like really didn't have anybody.
Oh, okay.
So it was always like, hey, can this person come over? Like, hey, can this person come over? And like,
Yeah.
we're gonna eat dinner and then they'll go home. Like that sort of thing. Or hey, I'm gonna go out and do this. But like, did my laundry all by myself.
That's good. See,
Cooked by myself, and it was so funny. Like my grandmother grew up very old school. No fingers on the wall. You ask permission to go in the fridge. You ask permission to open up a cabinet.
Who
you
asked
don't
permission
you
to
don't
go in the
s-
fridge?
You don't plop on the couch. You sit on the couch.
I
You turn off a
plop.
light.
Do you plop?
Not much. No, I was raised. I had similar strict
Yeah. Are you
families.
serious?
Yeah.
I never even heard of
Yeah,
this.
my-
That was about being polite.
My nana always.
Can I sit on the couch?
You don't
No,
have to
you don't ask.
You don't
but,
have
like,
to
you
sit on
don't
the
like
couch.
plop on the couch. You like
Right, you
gently sit.
respect the couch.
Exactly.
How old are these people?
So, well, my nana, I think she was what, maybe 72
At the time, okay.
At the time, yeah. But like her big
Jeez.
thing, she was big on manners. Like she was always like, if you meet the queen one day, like you need to know which fork is on the right side. Like we went through growing up, like how to set up, I should say, a full place setting with all of the spoons, the knives, the forks, where they go, where the napkin goes when you're eating. Like chewing with my mouth closed was huge.
Well, I can see that one.
Like sitting, not
Especially being a Jersey
slurping. How exactly? But yeah, I learned like
They're all mouth
all of this
chewers,
from
open
them.
mouth chewers.
all of this. So it was very
Wow.
proper, much different. It was like a change of pace when I was like living at home with my mom.
Yeah,
And
my
then moving
generation.
in with
Did
Nana
they
and Pop-Up.
Did they have plastic on the furniture that you couldn't sit on? Like
No, they didn't. They didn't have plastic. That's funny, but the couches were like that weird design. I don't know, like
a platy,
that
like
pattern.
a flowery
yeah,
or
it's like
something?
a flowery,
Yeah.
and it was like
Paisley.
golden brown, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the heck? Like, we gotta get you guys some
everybody had that
furniture.
couch.
Yeah, that's from the 70s.
Everybody
Yeah.
had that couch.
Oh my
Yes, everyone had
gosh.
that couch.
Yeah.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. So you're living with them. You're going to school. The grades are good. You're a communication journalism major.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Boom, bomb. You're out of college. You start applying. You're doing internships. You told me
Yeah.
last time you're all over the place. Did you know
Yeah.
she was all over the place with the internships?
We've met.
I didn't know if she told you all this.
Yeah, we had a lot of time to discuss.
Yeah, tell us just quickly about
Yeah,
some of those.
so like I said, after that knee injury in college, the third one, it was like, okay, forget it. Soccer's not it. You need to figure this out. And sophomore year started with my internships. I interned at a local TV station in Summit, New Jersey. From there, I went to MSNBC in New York and did the 3 p.m. hour with Katie Tur. From there, I went to MSNBC Morning Joe, worked with Mika and Joe
Doesn't that
all
seem like a
summer
big
long.
deal?
That sounds like a huge deal.
And then
when you're at MSNBC, is
Yeah.
that hard to get? Like, or they're just, hey, it's another intern.
Honestly,
there's 20 of them.
No,
keep them
so
rolling.
it was hard to get. And again, it's one of those. This business is one of those businesses where you need to know people. Somebody that I played soccer with, she was a freshman when I was a junior, and I got this internship. Her mother worked for MSNBC. Was the executive producer for Katie Tur's 3 p.m.
Gotta know
hour show.
somebody.
Yes.
Always gotta know somebody.
And I did a story on her daughter for school because she, again, had some crazy injuries. They didn't know she was able to walk again. She played soccer in college, all this crazy stuff. Great story. But I met her mother, and her mother learned a little bit about me and thought it was interesting that I lived with my grandparents and helped them out and did all
We'll
this
get
other
you in
stuff.
here.
So
And
then
then
she was able to
boom.
get me in. And then once I got in, they just kept coming. From leaving MSNBC, I then went to Inside Edition with CBS. From there.
Who was the anchor there? I remember.
Deborah Norville.
Devin.
Yeah, and she's still there.
All these big names.
So did you
Yeah.
hang around with her? Like,
Yeah,
hey,
very
Deb.
cool. I mean, we had shadowing opportunities. We pretended to anchor and do the show.
So do you find out these national talk show and news celebrities, are they nice people, jerks, little prima donna-ish?
some
Let's talk
of
about
them-
Deborah Norville behind her
Ding,
back.
ding, ding,
Oh, she hit it.
Safe
Oh,
word.
when you hit the bell, that means...
Safe word.
That means, okay,
Oh,
I
tapping
gotta
out.
shut
No,
up.
no,
That's
they
the
are-
rule. When
no,
you hit
they
the bell, I
were-
shut up.
They weren't bad. Some of them were worse than others. I'm not going to name names, but some people were super friendly and were willing to teach you and show you and said, like, I was in your shoes and wish I had somebody that was able to teach me. Others were like, I could care less, go get my coffee or
Go
go
get
do
my-
this
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is.
I want that person.
Yeah, I had an instance where I was in an elevator with one before and the coffee order was wrong and he chucked it across the...
Dan, I want to know who
Yeah.
this guy is. If you said his name, would we know?
Yes, and I'm not going to say it. Not going to say it. Safe word. Safe word. Safe word. I'll
Give
tell
us
you.
the initials.
I'll tell you after.
Give us the initials.
No, because you're gonna get it. I can't give you the initials. So moving on. From Inside Edition, I then went to Channel 7 in New York and worked on the investigative unit with Nina Pineda. It was 7 on Your Side.
All right.
And that really got me going. in
Local
news.
New York station.
Local New York station, working with like the New Yorkers, people with problems and things like that. That was the best internship out of all of them.
So you found your passion. You're liking what you're
Yeah.
doing. Like, I'm going to do this for a career. I love it.
Yeah. And then from there, it was graduation, and I was applying for a bunch of jobs all over the place. I had applied here. I had applied at BRE. I had applied at Fox 56.
But let's stop there again. So you kind of had a radius. Here's where I live.
Yep.
Let's go 100 miles out in all directions.
Yeah.
Something like that. And you just said, oh, BRE, never heard of it. WNEP, never heard of it.
Where is it local to Jersey? How far is it from home? Oh,
Yeah.
2 hours and about 30 minutes? Sold.
So she applied
Yeah.
to all Poughkeepsie. Let's just keep
I went
applying.
everywhere up in New York, Utica, Johnstown, out to WJAC, applied there, and got a couple job offers, one of them at WJAC.
Give
one
us
of
a
them,
percentage. If you send out 100 applications, probably via electronic means, whatever, but how many?
yeah.
Is
I
it
want-
10%? Is it 5%? Most ignore
I got
you?
4 back.
4 back, and maybe
4
you
back.
sent 20 out.
Yeah, and I sent definitely more than that. I would probably say maybe about 50.
Oh.
But again, I basically tried every station that was in that area. I mean,
Yeah.
I would Google a city and then say news station in this city. And then they would come up, and I'd go, okay, I'm going on their website. Do they have a reporter position open? Do they have a MSJ or MMJ, multimedia journalist position open? Great, apply for this, send it out. I mean, I just looked the other day by mistake because I was looking for something else and found tons of cover letters that I had sent out to all of these different stations all over the place, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and a little bit in Connecticut.
So you were telling me last time that you got a job at a station. You're driving to work one day at that station. You're there maybe a few months, a year. You didn't particularly like it. You knew it wasn't going to be the rest of your life. And then here you get a call from guess where?
Yeah.
WNEP. It's on your phone. You're driving to work. Where was that station?
So you're talking about two different stations. One of them was the first day that I was a desk assistant at WABC because
You hated that 4 months in. You quit.
No, 1 day in, and I said, and I told my boss that day, and I said, "Listen," she said, "How was your day?" I said, "It's great, but I'm not going to be here for more than a month." And I was out in a month.
Is that the Jersey thing, Dan? Is that?
Oh yeah. They know what they want and they get it.
Yeah. So ended up leaving there, and the station you're talking about was News 12 in Long Island in New York.
And that's when you were
and
there.
that was the one I was an associate producer at for 5 months. Loved it. Learned all about news, local news, again, specifically. Like, that was my route. I didn't want to do national, but started that way and then slowly honed in.
But where are you living at this point in life?
Oh, I'm still living home. So my
Are you with
commute-
Graham or you're back at home now?
I'm back home.
So you're commuting to New York City from your house?
Well, Long Island.
Long
so, like,
Ooh,
even,
ooh,
yeah.
ooh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that was
you're
rough.
commuting to Long Island every day, and that's what drive?
55 minutes to an hour, but then I'm sitting in even more traffic because I'm hitting all the bridges.
Not your kind of traffic, Dan.
Her kind of traffic. Yeah.
Jokesters.
And then the phone rings, though.
And then I'm on the phone and I get a text message from a weird number I've never seen. I'm like, what is 570? Never heard of that.
Welcome to the
570. I'm like, what is that? I'm a 973er. And 570 opens up, and I'm like, I'm gonna call you back. And at the in Jersey, we have the hands free, so I click on the car, and the car starts saying the message, and it's like, hey, it's Carl Abraham at WNEP. We want to schedule an interview. And I'm like, this is awesome. Who the heck is WNEP?
So
I applied for this job, and I don't even remember where it is. So then I pull over, and I'm like, where is this? I'm like, oh, I remember this station.
God.
And then get to work, and immediately call him and start talking to him on the phone. And about 2 weeks later, it was President's Day, scheduled the interview, came here and saw what you guys are all about.
3 years ago, next month.
Yeah.
So that when you pulled over and you Googled how long it takes to go from where you lived at the time, home, to WNEP, what was it?
2 hours and like 15 minutes.
And did you think, I don't know, that's
No,
too far.
I said I'm sold. That's it.
Oh!
I got to take it.
What
They
would
offer,
be
I'm
too
taking
far?
it.
3, 4, 5?
WJC in Johnstown.
That would be too far.
That was
So
just
that's
too
cool.
far
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
like 6, 7.
Yeah. That
So
was too far.
you come here for the interview.
Yeah.
That day. Mm-hmm. What's it like? What do you think? What do you think when you see rural PA, a new building? You see the station. Were you impressed?
Well, I was ready, and Carl's like, "Don't come too dressed up," and I'm like, well, crap,
Now, why would
am
he
I?
say that? Just
I don't know.
To probably keep it cool, keep it
yeah,
chill.
I guess
chill
so.
and relaxed. And I'm like, am I too dressed up? Like, I'm in like plaid pants. I have a nice shirt on, flats. I'm not wearing heels. I'm like, am I still too dressed up? Like, I'm not sure. My hair's done though. I'm like all done up in the Jersey 9s and
The
ready.
hair is admired by everybody. Did you know?
Oh, everyone loves the hair.
The hair
it's
is
epic
amazing.
hair.
Yeah.
Look at that. She takes care of it.
I heard she puts olive oil in her hair.
I don't know about the olive
I just
oil.
made that
No,
up.
you just made that up.
Okay. All right. So you come here semi-dressed up.
Semi-dressed up, and as I'm coming here, I'm starting to realize, like, I know where I am. I know I'm like close to the casinos, like coming through the Poconos. I know where mountain areas. I've been to Great Wolf Lodge. I said, I remember that Perkins. I've eaten there before. I know the outlets. So I'm coming up and I'm like, I know a lot of this area. And then I hit Kalahari and I'm like, okay, this still looks a little bit familiar. And then I keep going up and I'm like, oh, I don't know where I am. And as I'm getting ready to kind of pull off the exit, I see all the signs for like Starbucks, Panera, Dunkin'.
You're feeling at home.
I'm like, oh, they still have everything over here. Like, we're not in the middle
There's
of
actually
nowhere.
civilization here.
Yeah,
So
I'm like,
through
oh, this
your
is good.
childhood, you never came into the Scranton area for anything.
No, the only time I actually ever came into Pennsylvania, and again, it was a full circle moment, was when I did a story up in Honesdale, Beach Lake area. My family used to go up to cabins up there and stay for like a week.
Really?
Yeah, and we used to go to, there was a Stables, Triple W Stables. We used to go to.
Jersey people.
Yeah.
Yep, come here on vacation.
Come here on vacation. the
Yeah,
Jersey
and that
people.
was it. And it was so funny when
Hey,
I got
honey,
the
let's
job
go
here.
ride horses in the Poconos. That'll be fun. We'll go and mix with those rural idiots in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. Is that
Well,
what you said?
Yeah, no, I didn't say that.
And that's how they say it too.
No, but it was
With the
funny when I had
highbrow.
gotten the
Yeah,
job
that's the
here.
highbrow talk.
Everybody in my family started to connect the dots because we all came from here. I had my family. We call them the Buffalonians. Come from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, okay,
And we
all right.
would all meet at Beach Lake.
Yeah,
in
Wayne
Wayne
County,
County.
Wayne
Yeah,
County.
and my granny said to me, this is my mom's mom. She was like, "Oh my gosh, we used to watch WNEP because we brought the little
Whoa.
TV."
The granny that you lived with?
No, that was my nana. That
Okay,
was my mom's
then-
dad.
okay.
My dad's
Wrong
dad.
granny,
Or
buddy.
my dad's mom, I should say. Yeah. We don't call
Oh, that's
anybody
interesting.
grandma, grandpa. We're weird.
You
Nana,
got
papa,
names. I
granny,
know. you got
grampy.
names.
I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So there was a childhood connection.
Yeah.
And you did the interview here, and you liked it, and Carl liked you. Before you know it, you get the job.
Yeah.
And did you know then it was no, because it wasn't Pocono. You
No.
weren't hired for the Pocono.
No,
position.
it was like, come in and we're going to figure out where we're going to stick you. That sort of thing.
That's right, because I remember you being here how long before you were just, were you weekends? Were you?
I worked a lot of different shifts.
Yeah, she worked a lot of different
I was kind of just thrown all over the place and
Yeah.
filled in wherever needed, but I covered any county, wherever it was, and some days that was rough.
And let's not forget, it was an awkward time for the entire planet because this
yeah.
is during COVID.
So everything I
I
had
felt
learned,
bad for these folks.
yeah,
going,
everything I had
listen to
learned
this.
in college completely went out the window because when I started here, my first day it was come in, take your photo. We weren't wearing masks yet in the building, by the way.
Oh, we were
so it was
not.
come
That's
in,
right.
no, take your photo, fill out your paperwork, write your bio for the website. Do you have any questions? No. Okay, here's your gear. When you come in tomorrow, you're staying outside the building. And that was it. I was like an outdoor cat. Yeah. So it
She
was.
came literally when things shut down.
That's
so
unbelievable.
she never got that newsroom experience.
No.
It was welcome. Here's a box of stuff. Get out.
Yeah. That was my
I
thing.
remember feeling bad for all of you newcomers because what an introduction to the news world. It was so awkward.
So her first reporting gig was like that.
And
Yeah,
there's
and-
no communication. There's
No.
no interaction. Everything is
No.
plastic.
I'm
after a few
learning
months.
how to do a job that I really had never done before. I mean, I did some stuff in college, but not daily turns for a story. I'm doing that for the first time in crazy pandemic-like conditions.
Yes.
Nobody's there to show you, really. Everything was, here's the phone, show me where the problem is on the camera. Or show me this. So it was like,
Well, maybe that
here
made you a
it
better
is.
person.
And yeah, it was like, throw you to the wolves and you learn.
Do you remember in the first week, 2, 3, 4 weeks, month, calling your mom and saying, I don't know if this is what I need?
Every
I don't
day.
know." You would say that?
Oh, yeah.
So you didn't like this at first?
No, it wasn't that I didn't like it. It was that it was such an unpredictable time and I had little to no guidance because how could I?
You couldn't have guidance because we couldn't
have
interact.
guidance. No, because
one's
I couldn't
here.
interact. I couldn't ask the photographers that were walking around, hey, can you look at this? Or can you take a peek
No.
at this? Or can you do that? So it was really, really difficult when I first started.
This is when people were like me, were broadcasting from home. We couldn't
Yeah.
even come into the building, and you're
Yeah.
the new hire.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, go out in the world and talk to people. I mean, I had never used a broomstick the way we used broomsticks during that time, sticking them in people's faces.
And we used broomsticks
We used broomsticks
yeah.
with
with a little
Velcro
with a
and
clip
tape.
with a clip on
Clip
the end
on
of
the
it,
end.
and then that
Yeah.
clip would grab
And
the
don't get
microphone.
within 6 feet
Yeah, and that-
of that
yeah.
monster.
Exactly. Yeah, be careful. And then and you'd hold the stick out, you talk to the person, and then when
Yeah.
you brought the stick back, you sprayed it down with Lysol.
Yeah, and this is your world.
Yeah, and the most challenging part for me was, I think that if we were in different times and I were to come in and I was new, there would have been somebody that could drive me around and show me a little bit of the area.
Sure.
I think that would have totally helped because the hardest part for me was finding stories. Because we have reporters here that have their different beats, like I'm in now. I cover,
yeah.
Wayne, Pike, Monroe, Carbon, really. That's kind of my area and situation. But we have the Lackawanna Scranton beat reporter. We have the Luzerne beat reporter. We have Schuylkill. We have, out in central Pennsylvania. We have, Nikki and
you were a
Durant. And then
mix.
Chris.
You were doing a little bit of everything.
And it was like, go up to Bradford for this. Like, go over here for that. And I had a really hard time trying to make connections with sources and people because I didn't have
yeah.
really anywhere to
Were
go.
you
It
thinking
was
about
like
quitting and leaving? And
I mean, I never thought about quitting. That was never an option. It was like, you're going to stick it out. You're going to figure out how to do this. And if you have questions, you're going to ask.
That's
because
a good attitude, Dan.
this was it. I don't have a plan B. This is like going to be my life. So I need to figure out how to make it work.
And you made it work. And then
Yeah.
when did this marriage begin?
Oh, well, this marriage began. I was building that up when I had first come in for the initial interview.
She was planting seeds early.
I had said to Carl, our past news director. So I know it seems like you guys have somebody out in the Poconos. I know that area because it's super close to Jersey. So like if somebody's leaving anytime soon or you're looking to promote them, I'll take that spot. That's what I want.
You got to be aggressive.
Yeah,
You got to
go after what you want. And little old me coming in, just got the job, is already trying to boss people around and say, I want this and I want that. But it kind of started the ball rolling for when Carmela got the promotion, for when she started anchoring, and that's when it's been a year now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, January 1.
January
2022.
1
January 1.
was a year with
2022.
us.
She came as a team.
So you
Yep.
immediately just started saying, and this is a lesson to all the kids out there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait.
No.
I'm going to attack. I'm going to
Yeah.
be proactive. I'm going to go find out information and force myself in what I need and what I want and what I want to get.
Well, it's
and
amazing
prove that you're the person.
It's amazing how bosses react when you say, I want to work.
Yeah.
When you go to a boss and you say, I want to work, I want to do this, and I want to do more, and I want to do better work, amazingly, bosses respond.
Yes.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
tell my kids this. I say, don't ever go to your boss and say, I want more money. I need this. I need that. You got to go and say, what could I do for this company? I want to work harder. I want to work longer. I want to work faster. And there will be rewards a lot of times.
Yeah.
Prove yourself.
And I don't think it's just this industry. I think it's kind of every aspect
It's
of
every
life.
aspect
you
of
can't
life.
sit around and wait for something to
No.
happen. And if now's the time to take a shot on yourself, you have to do it. And
The lessons we're learning
There you
but like,
go.
what's
The
the worst
lessons
case
we're
though?
learning.
What's the worst case though? Somebody says no.
Someone says
okay,
no.
great. Somebody says no. Cool. Wait 6 months and do it again. Like
Yes.
You know what I
got to
mean?
make your value.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she would, whenever Carmela would take a sick day
I
or she was
fought
on
to be with Dan.
vacation,
She was
anything,
the temporary replacement.
because she was so close, she would be like, I'll work with Dan. You know,
Yeah,
if there was
I'll give
ever
you two stories.
Because where are you living at the time?
Peaburg, New Jersey.
Phillipsburg.
I have always
Phillipsburg,
lived.
New
I
Jersey.
have lived in
All right, wait.
Jersey this entire
wait,
time.
Here's your home. Here's WNEP.
Yeah.
Phillipsburg is where?
Okay, Easton, not in our viewing area, kind of
Oh,
Lehigh Valley
okay.
area.
Yeah, very-
there. Last exit off of 78 in New
Right
Jersey.
across the river.
Right
Yeah,
across
I
the
got it.
river.
Phillipsburg
What
From
made you
Easton.
pick that? Because of the...
So, well, two things. One, my aunt lived there. She was like,
She's
she was doing
always
nursing.
sucking off
So
some
I'm
family
mooching
member.
off of
exactly.
somebody
Mooching
else.
off everybody.
Mooching off of somebody else. And instead of paying rent, it was, hey, can you do the grocery shopping this time around and pay that bill? So it was like every other month I did something.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm like, that's a lot cheaper than having to pay the rent that it is.
This girl is a inspiration to others and a way to find your way in darkness. That's awesome.
You got to figure out how to make it work. It's not just going to work. You got to figure it out. But yeah, I did that, and then
So that's how long of a drive to go from Phillipsburg to wherever this office is you guys emanate from?
at the time it was up to here, so it was an hour 15 one way that I was taking to get here to work.
I was going to say this,
Now it's about 38 minutes.
Right. So
and that
she could
just
cut her-
happened in the last year.
Correct. She's only been doing that for years. So she did 2 years of commuting up here to Scranton over an hour's drive.
Yeah, and my car broke down too.
Yep.
My engine went. And you wanted to
What
know
kind
what
of
your
car? How many
dealership
miles on it?
said.
Oh, you hear this.
70,000. It was brand
What
new.
kind of car was this with
Chevy
seven-
Malibu. I got it brand new, 2016.
70,000 miles on
And
it.
Listen to this.
She
my
didn't change the
engine.
oil.
No?
No, I did.
Yo?
I was. Oh my god. Well, my mom is a psycho with my cars that I drive. She's a psycho about the tires. Dan knows
You
this all
rarely
too
hear
well.
about people that actually maintain their vehicles. This one, she screams if a tire even has a little bit of tread wear on it. She was like, "Oh, we
Yeah.
need to check the tires."
Yeah.
Like she's a maniac
So
about
it's
maintenance.
70,000 miles for a new car. Now that's nothing. That's breaking in, and
Yeah.
the engine goes.
The engine goes, right? So
And
I
it's
called the
beyond warranty.
dealership, beyond the warranty dealership. I think it's the hilly roads of Pennsylvania. I'm like, that's the worst excuse I've ever had.
That's what the dealership at
That's
Jersey
what
told
the-
her.
You should have recorded
that was the
phone
dealership
call.
here that I called.
The hilly
Here.
road. So we built vehicles for flat travel
Yeah.
only.
Right.
Who would
Yeah.
say that?
So apparently all cars explode in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania
on the hilly terrain.
at 60,000, 70,000
Yeah.
miles.
So did you work around that? Did you end up getting
So
an
I
engine?
put in a used engine.
Oh, so they wouldn't do anything.
No, they wouldn't do anything. So I'm waiting. I am waiting.
You're still in this fight.
Yeah, I am waiting for it to come back that they're like faulty or something.
Don't you
and
know someone
Chevy's
at-
liable.
Don't you know
and-
someone at GM? You know someone everywhere else? Maybe your soccer coach's nephew's
No.
grandson?
No, so I traded it in
Okay.
and got $13,000 for it. That's how good of a condition it was in.
What'd you pay for an engine replacement?
I only did like $2,000. It was used. I
Yeah,
picked a
that's
used
still
one.
pretty good.
Nobody.
That's really good. I paid
I thought that
$4
would be
for my
labor.
Hyundai.
Oh yeah, well again, we know people. Like everybody knows somebody, so I just took it back to
Someone's
Jersey.
cousin from soccer put it in for
Yeah,
her.
I took it back to Jersey, and somebody got a good deal on it for me and put it in, and he didn't charge us the labor and blah blah blah.
So now you have the car going well. You're commuting not so bad each
Yeah.
day, and life is good, and your
Life is
work is
good.
good. And if you're saying Snedeker's not even paying attention, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm going now towards the questions from the viewers. We have to get to that. We're killing a
Oh,
lot of
yeah,
time
yeah,
here.
yeah.
But no,
Okay.
keep going while I find
Oh,
these
yeah,
questions.
so,
do you love it now and everything is going great?
Yeah, I love it. Everything's going great. I feel like I actually have a better life work balance than I did before because I would immediately come home from work. Again, coming from here, we get done about 6:15, or that's when we technically clock out. I don't get home right until about 7:30, 7:45.
It's a long day.
It was a long day.
I can't work out because then I work out, then I have to shower, eat dinner, and I'm in bed.
Gym,
Makes
tan,
no sense.
laundry.
Yeah, GTL. That's my motto.
So so you were complaining now, or what do you mean?
Well, no, it was just difficult because I had to squeeze in trying to find story ideas, right? Because we pitch our story ideas. Our assignment just doesn't say all the time here.
Yeah.
We have to find them, make connections. So that was difficult in the beginning. So it was like I'd come home and it was just a revolving door. And on my days off, I would sleep. I was so exhausted, just trying to catch up. Now I'm like, what are we eating for lunch?
I love
We
it.
have some time for
So
lunch.
you feel now you've established yourself there.
Yes. Yeah.
But when I shoot my wham cams in the Poconos, you guys have a tough area because
What?
What? I think we have the best area.
Well, here's my opinion.
What's
on
your
that.
problem?
When I shoot wham cam,
All right.
I'll go to Scranton, I'll go to Honesdale, I'll go to Tunkhannock, I'll go to Wilkes-Barre, I'll go to Bloomsburg. Everyone knows WNEP and Joe Snedeker and our photographer, and hey, wham cam, I love it. Now, when I go into the Poconos to shoot some wham cams,
Okay.
I'll go to Stroudsburg, Tannersville, I'll shoot down to Mount Pocono, go to the strip malls there. It's a lot less notoriety.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's
Yeah,
a lot less. I think you got half the people in your area who are glued to New York still,
Yep.
with maybe with their media.
they'll still watch ABC7 and everything like that
Yeah.
out of New York. Absolutely.
Right. So you guys, I mean, we're entrenched, but they're half New York, half NEP,
Right.
WNEP.
They split their viewership,
Yep.
to be
Right,
honest.
yeah.
So like we're not the celebrities there than that you are here. Because
Yeah.
you're such a big deal. But
Yeah.
I don't mean it that way. I mean
I'm
it-
joking around. No, but down there, yes, you're right. We do have it's
You
a
have to
blessing and a
work for
curse.
it.
We have to work for it, but at the same time, people are a little bit more willing to talk with us because they're not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Because it's just the local news
Okay.
here in Pennsylvania. So sure, I'll talk on your TV.
Oh,
Why not?
yeah. They're
Yeah.
little guys compared to
Right,
the big
they're not starstruck. They're like, oh, it's just the local news
Yeah.
crew, cool. You
Yeah.
know, and it's it makes our job semi-easy at some points as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't walk in the door and immediately everyone
Hey,
goes,
WNEP.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
we have our spots.
I was going to say, what
Oh,
are some
yeah.
of the hot spots where there is high dense WNEP concentration?
They're all over. I don't really know of a select spot. Maybe
Like we do say
Danwood.
Tannersville is. Everyone in Tannersville.
Honestly, Stroudsburg is a great place for
Yeah.
us. A lot of people know us. A lot of viewers watch us there. You go into a diner, you walk into the Arlington Diner, and we're
Yeah.
like Elvis.
Yeah.
You know, like
Okay. So
Yeah, it's a lot of
Stroudsburg
just
is
a
hot.
local place. I mean, again, the split between there is a lot of the transplants from New York
Yeah,
to Jersey.
exactly.
I actually find it more interesting and fun because I relate to them. I mean, I'm relating to now you guys more here in Pennsylvania, just Pennsylvanians in general, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate traffic. I like space. I don't like when people are on top of me. But like there are some aspects of like Jersey that I miss. But when I talk to the New Yorkers, I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like I can mess around with them and they get it. You know what I mean? Where I can like
So you're the
be a little
perfect
bit
hybrid.
spicy.
She's the
I
perfect
could be a little bit
hybrid.
spicy with them sometimes,
Yes.
or like say something or reference somewhere. Like anytime somebody says, "Oh, I'm from Jersey," I'm like, "Where?"
see,
Like, I
that's
wanna
why
know.
you're the perfect
Where?
person for that
Yeah.
area.
yeah, she's doing great.
Yeah. So
Whoa, that's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, so I bet someone from like the Stroudsburg area, which you brought up, you would know this more than Amanda or myself.
Okay.
If you turn on your local TV in the Stroudsburg area, I bet you can pick up Philly stations. I bet you can pick up New York City stations.
You can.
And you
New
can
York,
pick
yeah.
up WNEP.
Yeah, I
You
believe
take
it's
your pick.
it's less common now just because the way cable has operated now they're down to just like the locals for a lot of it. Over the air on bunny ears, yes, you can still
Yeah,
get
you
New
can-
York,
you can say,
but,
"Oh, I want New York
but
today, I want Philly, I want Scranton."
For eternity, the cable network, like the cable providers down there, actually had all the Philly locals, all the New York locals, and us.
Yes.
You know,
So what
like-
do you pick?
And that's what people would do is they would just pick where they were from usually, until you get established and actually want to like know what's going on at your school board meetings.
yeah.
Back in the day, you only cared about, well, New York got the exciting news. New York has the big glamorous anchors and everything like that, you know?
You mean before you realize that WNEP is number one?
Exactly.
That's what
And
it
honestly,
is.
it's a
Very
thing that they
true.
grow into.
So should we start? Did we cover the whole arc of your life? Oh no! Before we get to some of these questions from the people, so the police officer thing. Look at she's got
I
a
just like
ring on.
showing it.
She's got a ring.
Her
on.
Super Bowl ring she's got on her finger.
Stop. It's not.
You've been dating.
It's not that big.
So this guy's a Jersey guy.
That's big.
Police officer in Jersey.
Yes. Funny story, and
How
I
long
have
you
a
dating
great
this guy?
photo to show you. It'll be 6 years this summer.
Long.
But-
You get started in college?
Yeah. But I've known him. He, again, talking about how everything is so close, yet like you still kind of know everybody. When my grandmother moved, she moved, and this is my mom's mom, moved to a town called Nutley, where Paul, my fiance, is a police officer. My aunt and him were best friends growing up.
Wow.
So I met Paul when I was 11 or 12 because they lived next door to each other.
And how old was he at the time?
He
was he a couple of
was-
years older than you? Or?
So I was 16.
Oh, okay. So he's got a couple of
17-ish.
years on you.
Yeah.
And were you starstruck by this guy, the handsome
Well,
police
then
officer?
then I actually
the handsome man
he
in
wasn't.
the uniform.
So he wasn't a cop yet. There's a photo
Of
that I will
course
have to
not.
show you of me hugging him like
As a child.
as a
to be.
child when he was going to prom with his girlfriend at the time. And I was like,
Oh,
nope,
man.
mine. I already knew.
Is that so? You did have?
Yeah, I had a
these-
little crush on him then. And then we, as I got older and like more soccer and college or high school, I should say, and then into college, he would like always just pop in my grandmother's house. And I was like, oh my God, Paul's a cop? I had no idea.
Did
And then-
was he aware of you at the time? Or do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think he was?
Yeah.
Corner of
Because
his
we were always so close because barbecue here, block party here, come over New Year's here, we have a party for this there. Like our families were just so close because they lived next door to each other. And Paul's mom has a pool in her backyard, so anytime I had the opportunity to go swimming, because nobody in my family had a pool,
Right.
I'd go over next door.
I
and
bet you
swim.
the hair is what won him over.
No, he
The
actually,
hair.
surprisingly, he likes brunettes, and I'm blonde. So how does this work? Naturally a brunette, but I'm better blonde. So,
Oh man.
yeah.
So marriage is coming up when?
December 10th, 2023.
No. So I never understood
The long engagement?
No, not the long engagement.
What?
That is, yeah, you're right. That's hard to understand. The December weddings. Are you?
December wedding.
Well, they don't get snow over there.
we get snow,
but
we don't like
everyone's
get snow.
everyone to me, and this is stupid of me and cliche. Summer's marriage time. You don't get married in winter. There could be a snowstorm.
I don't want to wear a
There could
big
be-
dress
it
and
could-
sweat.
It's probably going to be a cloudy day and about 27 degrees with flurries.
And you know what? The day after my wedding, guess where I'm going? Sunshine, palm trees, ocean, blue waters, turquoise waters, bathing suits.
All right, and then you're going to take what, a week or two off here at WNEP and maybe
Week or
never
two off.
come back.
I already have like 3 weeks scheduled.
She's
I don't know
saving
how
all the
well.
days. What are you gonna do
I don't
without
know
her
how
when
well
this
that's going to go
wedding
with
comes?
I have no
management.
idea. I'm going to be stuck with her all year because she can't use any PTO until
I
then.
know.
But then, yeah, I'm going to have to entertain myself for 3 weeks while
Yeah.
she's gone.
Did you ever meet this guy?
No, I haven't. Actually.
No,
you
I mean,
haven't?
that's surprising. FaceTime.
we FaceTime all the time, because
Yeah.
like, she'll give him calls and stuff like that. But yeah, he's all the way out in Jersey. So, no, I haven't actually met him in person.
Yeah, and we live together now. So when my aunt decided to move, I took over her lease.
That's not okay with your
For it.
Nana, is it?
Oh, my Nana.
Yeah, she doesn't want to know you guys living together.
No,
in
well, she's
sin.
but God rest her soul. She
Oh, okay.
doesn't have a choice.
All right. That
has no
wouldn't
say
have been
She
all
has no
right.
say anymore.
That
but
generation, that wouldn't have been all right.
no, but she's. I'm sure she's okay with it. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Times
I'm
have
spicy.
changed. Tell
I'm
her to get-
spicy. He's relaxed.
Tell her to get with
He's
the times.
I need to be better. Let's just leave it at that.
Does he give you police officer stories, or do you even want to hear them?
Oh yeah, I mean I hear some of them again off the record, safe word. But yes, no, I hear some stuff sometimes. Some of them are hilarious. Some of them are bad. I've heard some not fun stuff that have kind of stuck with him a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure, like you, he sees a lot of things
lot
you
of
don't
stuff.
want to
Yeah,
see.
we do. It's part of life.
Yeah.
The real world can be sad at sometimes, and can be
Yeah.
dangerous.
So luckily he's in a department where there's not so much crime. But there's always worry, every time like you walk out the door, it's like, okay,
The police
I hope to see you
officer's
tonight.
wife is the basis of so many movies and sitcoms. So that's going to be you.
Yeah.
The police officer's wife.
Well, now he's home right now. He actually just had shoulder surgery. He got hit by a car at work while directing traffic. So he's doing okay.
So eventually back on
He'll be eventually back to work, yes.
You guys are going to be a force to deal with. They're going to be like, yeah, she's on TV reporting, and he's a police officer.
Pretty good dream team.
Those
Pretty good dream
two,
team, yeah.
stay away. Those
Yeah.
two have gossip and power over everybody.
Well, not power. I wouldn't say power. But we see, hear, and know a little bit more than I think the average household. Let's put it, how about that? That may work better.
Love your reporting, Amanda. You're gorgeous.
gosh.
Here comes the viewers.
Oh, here we go.
This guy says it all. Dan would be a great podcast by himself. He's an anchor in his own right. Been doing a great job taking care of those reporters for a long time.
Wait, what?
We don't need to know who these are from, but these are people who wanted me to ask you things during this podcast.
Did my
and this
mom
guy,
write that?
No, you didn't. How about that face I showed on the?
Oh,
on
the puss that you
Yeah,
put on.
Oh my gosh.
Like, okay, that was a
Did
whole.
someone say be overly serious?
There were like 10 comments. Like, oh my gosh, that photographer. Ugh.
It was
what
like,
would it be
she's
like working with that
adorable.
guy?
What would it be like
I
working
know,
with
what
him?
did that
And I'm over here like, Dan, don't look at the comments.
We had school picture day here at the station. Everyone was getting new headshots, and we wanted to get some team shots
Mm-hmm.
because we were a good team. We enjoy working together. And so they're like, okay, we'll do a happy face. We'll do a
I know, you
serious
gotta do
face.
this. I did the same thing. I know.
And you post the serious face one. And I look like I'm about to send back a sandwich that wasn't
know.
made right. And
I'm over here like trying to be serious,
You
but
wanna
it's not
know the truth
working.
of this, and this is sexist. The reason I picked that picture, because I have a wife and I have a daughter and I have 2 boys.
Yeah.
And whenever I take a picture, the boys don't care what they look like in it. I don't care what I look like in it, and I hear from my wife, let me see how I look.
Yeah.
And my daughter, let me see how I look.
100%.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, I get that.
picked the picture where I thought you looked the best, Amanda.
Oh my gosh,
But
and I'm
this
over
was-
here like,
that's
where's
great.
the smiling
so
picture?
I become the punching bag.
Yeah, because I'm thinking
that's
Dan's
funny.
not
Oh
going to
my
care.
God.
So
And I don't, but the viewers care.
So funny.
Oh yeah,
So I did that for you, man. I picked the
Oh,
picture.
thank
I thought
you.
you looked the best,
Thank you.
regardless of.
I appreciate
thanks, Joe.
it.
I appreciate it, Joe.
Thanks.
How is her hair so shiny always? It looks great. Now, the hair thing. How do you give us the secret to
I
the
don't
shine?
know. I don't have a secret. I think I shower and use like the same regular basic products everybody uses.
Must be genetic then.
My mom does have some really good hair. She really does. She teased it in the 80s and did the whole lioness looking look.
She had the big hair in the 80s?
She had
darling?
big hair in the 80s, yeah. But I use leave-in conditioner. That's it. No.
Dan, do you know what that means?
I have. It sounds like you wash your hair and then don't rinse it out.
No.
You just go to bed.
Oh my
Like,
gosh,
do you,
no.
rinse, do you
Okay,
put like
so-
the shower cap on to keep all of it in? What's
So
going
I
on here?
shower, right? I use shampoo, I use conditioner in the shower, rinse everything out, and then after, Joe, this is important.
Okay.
People want to know, right? People want to know. They're
The
asking.
people want to know,
The people
Joe.
want to
They want to know
know.
her hair secret.
So after that, then I get out of the shower, I like dry towel it, and then I put a product in called leave-in conditioner. And a lot of conditioners out there now have this as an option. You don't even have to condition in the shower.
It's like a cream you rub in your hair?
Yeah, just like a little cream you'd probably use like, I'm going to say a size of a quarter. Rub it on your hands, and I just put it on the ends
do
and
that
then
every
run
day?
it through when I shower. Yes, every day.
I couldn't even imagine
I mean, I
doing
shower
that
every day. I don't wash my hair
The
every day
maintenance.
because
That's
it's
why
not
we
good.
don't have hair, Joe.
I couldn't imagine doing that every day. Man, remember you did the turkey trot? This person wants to know if you
Yes.
practice all year long to do the Jersey-style turkey trot.
No.
Or does it
No,
just
that
come
was, like-
naturally?
It comes naturally. That was like right on the spot too when you said to do it, and I think I did a pretty good job at it.
Joey, this one's dancing all the time. Wherever we go, she's dancing.
That's
She's
true.
singing.
She's
There's an improv to it.
the key to you is you don't take yourself too seriously. You have fun. You're confident. You're smart. That's what I love about Amanda.
Yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously, especially in this business. But if you were to take yourself too seriously and you met somebody who was fun, they wouldn't be as open or honest or want to share stuff
Yeah,
with you
exactly.
or just even have a good time because they would feel like you're always so uptight.
I think it's a
So-
dangerous path for anyone to take themselves too seriously
Yeah.
in any role.
No.
And that's what I love
No.
about you. That's why I love it.
Thanks, Joe.
So we wrap things up here. We're about an hour in.
Okay.
Your relationship now with you too. So is it you come in each morning, same time?
Yep.
And does Dan...
I'm earlier, actually.
Well, whatever.
I'm on
Oh,
time.
she beats me by like 4 minutes every day.
No, I'm on time, though.
But is it, and this can be getting more towards your podcast, is it a collaboration? Like, are you responsible to find stories, or is it all on her? How does that work?
I would say the pressure's on her.
pressure's on you.
I help.
Yeah.
But the pressure's on her. That's part of her.
what I was
Her
gonna say.
gig is find story ideas, and she's fantastic at it. And it's a matter of contacting contacts. It's watching other publications. It's watching Facebook groups. Like, we're a part of so many community groups and things like that. And just knowing people and talking to people. And like, if you watch a national story about, egg prices is the thing of the day, but like, okay, well, I know a farmer. Hey, let's go talk to him, see what he's seeing locally.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's just a matter of seeing what's kind of buzzing in the area and
I
then
get
see
that,
what it's
but
like locally.
Mainly her responsibility.
It's mainly her responsibility to find these ideas. Now, I obviously am always texting her ideas, like, hey, I thought of this. Hey, I saw that. Hey, the Game Commission did this. Let's do that. But so we definitely collaborate. I mean, every day we collaborate.
Yeah.
That's just the job, when you're a team.
Especially on the days where it's difficult to find stuff or things aren't working. That's when we really try to figure it out together.
I can imagine. And I'm wondering, we'll do this more in your podcast.
Okay.
But I'm worried about the future because are you a multi, correct?
Yeah, I do. When he's off, I don't get anybody.
So
I do it all
MMJs,
myself.
are you intimidated by these MMJs? They come out of college and they can work the equipment. They set up their camera themselves. They do their reporting.
And
Does this...
I mean, obviously, every photographer, they've been dwindling in number,
Is this the future, though?
It was becoming the future. It's kind of stalled.
Ever since the person got hit by a car when they were...
Exactly.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
So, like, photographers do have, I think, a little bit of a future, at least for a few more years. But yeah, it is intimidating to see that, news companies and everything like that are going towards one-man bands because the technology is getting smaller. And so they're saying, well, okay, if we can get enough equipment, if someone can operate one by themselves, let's just give it to one reporter. They can turn one story. And the quality suffers when that happens.
I think it looks sterile.
It does.
It looks dull. You have a tripod set up and you just stand there like a robot because there's no photog to move around and follow you and add their opinion.
Like, I do love that about our market in general is that even us and our competitors, a lot of them do have photographers. And so the viewers here do have a very good product. When you turn on the television, you see reporter photographer teams for the most part. There are one-man bands, absolutely. But if you go on vacation to somewhere that's small and you see the local market, what the news looks like down there, they might have 2 or 3 local reporters. That's it. It's all one-man banded, and then they just borrow news from other markets just to fill out the show. And that's how they're just going cheap. Everyone's going cheap.
Yeah, and that's a business model. Make more money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's also, I think, a benefit to being an MSJ, though. At least, like, from my perspective, because a lot of the stations, when you first start off from college, you don't typically start at a place like this. Where you have all of these resources and extra people.
So the benefit makes you more attractive to a station, of course,
I mean,
because they're going to say she can do everything.
To be able to have more tools in your toolbox, absolutely. I mean, I look at my product from when I first started as a MMJ and was like, oh my gosh, how did they let us air this? And now I look at my stuff now for like when Dan's gone and I shoot my own stuff. And I would say the hard part for me is not being able to be as active as I want to be. When it's my turn to be on camera, when it's my turn to show the viewers something or explain something, I can't be as active.
Because you're just standing there like a robot.
Because I'm by myself. With that being said, I do try, however, to be active, to add different shots, to do a multi-different stand-up where I'm opening a car door, I'm sitting in the car door, I slam the you need to get the close-up of that. So you got to work a little bit harder.
You have to put a lot more effort into it just to have the movement that
Yeah.
can be just natural when you're working with another human being.
And you can't do so much of the run and gun either with it. I mean,
you can't do any run and gun. No run and gun.
Absolutely.
So that's also the difficult part,
and
too.
Snowstorm reporting, not that that's a highlight of your career, but weather reporting, you gotta look at the flooding water, and then you gotta come back to the photographer, and the anchor, and then you gotta walk.
But that's the one good thing about our station is we do not let anybody do any live shots by themselves. So we are able to get that aspect of being visual, being able to show the roadways, being able to show the water that closes a road, or making a snowball to show conditions, that sort of thing.
See, Dan, you're going to be needed forever.
Thanks, Joe.
And that's why you're going to be.
I hope that you become boss then to make sure that stays that way.
That's why you're going to be the next podcast, The Life of a WNEP Photographer. You're the man.
Oh, hopefully I don't disappoint.
No, it's going to be awesome. But before we end this, we're already over an hour in. You have to do one of two things.
What do I have to do?
You have to tell us who that jerk intern, big shot, and everyone knows his name, anchor was.
Oh, gosh.
Give us his name, or you have to scold Dan and me with a Jersey accent. I don't know how you're going to do it. You have to give us Jersey talk.
You have to give me something to like yell at you about, though. Like, I can't just. It's
Let's
just
play.
like not on
let's go get a pork roll sandwich later. All right.
We get a
The
pork roll
fumes are
sandwich.
coming out of my head. It
All right,
is
so we
not
get a-
pork roll. It is Taylor ham. Dan knows this. I'm serious, all too well though, and it really annoys me when he specifically says
She's
it
mad.
though,
She's
because
mad.
it is not pork roll. It's Taylor ham.
Pork roll is
And you
delicious.
should know this too, because when I did the stupid Snow Angel, one of those morning shows, and would put the microphone in the snow, I said that you had to get me a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwich, and I'm still waiting for it.
Because I don't even.
You don't know what a
okay,
Taylor ham, egg, and
I never
cheese
even heard that
sandwich is?
term.
That's like saying, get me an Oscar Mayer hot dog instead of just
Yeah,
saying, get me
why
a
did
hot
you
dog.
name the brand?
Taylor's a brand.
Yeah, you don't name the
just
brand.
pork
That's
roll.
a Jersey
No,
thing.
it is Taylor ham, and anybody who says it's pork roll can get out of here.
All right. Well, then what do you call a long, slender bun filled with meat, processed meat, vegetables, lettuce, onion,
A
tomato?
sub.
Not a hoagie.
It's a hoagie.
No, it's not a hoagie.
It's a hoagie.
It's a sub.
It's a hoagie.
No.
Never. So Northern Jersey, no one said hoagie.
No,
ever.
we say it's a sub. You want a sandwich? You want a sub?
A sub is a boat.
A sub.
And a hoagie is a sandwich.
Yeah, a
Okay,
sub
I'm going to get in the car and want
is
to
a marine
smack Dan in
vessel
the head.
that is subaquatic. Now, what about
No.
pierogies? Were you accompanied with pierogies growing up?
Yeah, I
or-
mean, I ate them. It wasn't
it
like
wasn't
a big deal.
thing.
No.
It's not a religion like it is for you.
No, we're big in Jersey. We're big on our malls. We're big on, like, Taylor ham, pork roll debate. We're
That
big.
makes no sense.
When this is done, we are going to go in an in-depth
The person
conversation.
at home can't see how red she's turning.
she's
from
I have
this.
like the fumes coming out
She's
of my
getting
ears
hives up
about
her neck.
this. Our bagels, we love a good bagel.
Yeah, what's with the bagels?
We love a good bagel.
I can take or leave a bagel. They seem to love bagels.
I love bagels.
Oh, you love bagels?
I love
I'm
bagels.
sorry. Being that close to Jersey, we get great bagels in the
Yeah.
Poconos.
I want to
Great.
get.
Well, even in the Poconos, I'm like, no, it's
Not good enough.
Not good enough. Not good enough. Pizza here.
Pizza here is great.
No,
Oh, ask a Jersey
no,
person
no,
about
no,
pizza?
no,
Come on.
no.
Yeah, you guys do have
You
good
have
pizza.
to come to me.
You
I
do
have to
I
show
love the
you.
big
Yeah,
Jersey
yeah.
flat boardwalk trays
Yeah.
of pizza. That's great
Yeah.
stuff. It's got to be. I'm with you. It's got to be really thin crust, flops down, cheese drips off.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's say this, Dan.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
You're pulling in with your car. We're at a parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan and I are in a car.
Yeah.
We're both approaching this one spot at the same
It's
time.
my spot. Back the heck off.
I may be an inch or two ahead.
I don't care. You're
We
getting
pull
beeped
in,
at.
And you see us come out. What are you going to say to
I'm
us?
gonna get out of the car and I'm gonna yell at you.
We took your spot.
I had the
I'll say,
worst
listen,
road rage this morning.
Listen, man, we were here first.
Yeah.
So take that.
Yeah, I had the worst road rage this morning. I'm pulling out of like the complex I live in, right?
Yeah.
I'm at a light, so I'm turning. Like I have to turn, right? I have
Gotta
to
turn.
make a left-hand
Left
turn,
turn.
like onto the highway.
There you go.
The woman behind me, I'm going too slow. I see her in the window, like the mirror, right? My rearview mirror behind me. She throws her hands up.
The hands are
so
thrown.
I move over so I could start to yell at her. Like, who are you? Who are you to throw your hands up at me when we're driving?
I'll tell you who she was. She probably had Jersey plates.
She
That's who
was, yeah, she did have Jersey plates, and you know what her thing said? She had a little sticker and said, Grandma Mom. And I'm like, you need to slow down. Where are you going? It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. But I was going to have her head, and then I followed her.
Two angry Jersey people cancel themselves out.
It explodes. It's an
I was
explosion.
about to say, yeah. That's an impact. That's a head-on collision right
Yeah.
there.
And that ends the podcast.
See ya.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about?